OIR meeting, December 3rd, 2021. Take one.
So we are here to present the third quarter results per the OIR statute. So we'll start with occupancy. Occupancy in the third quarter was 273.2 to a budget of 262.5. So we actually exceeded our budget by 10.7. And we're over year to date, same amount, which is 273.2 to 262.5. When we look at our revenue, we are behind in our revenue year to date. So for the third quarter, we billed about 7.8 million in revenue to a budget of 8.5 million. That's a difference of about $717,000. That difference is deriving from our occupancy rates in assisted living, memory care, and skilled, as they have been down year to date. Good news is, with our new salesperson, we actually closed 11 new people in both assisted living and memory care for the month of November. So we are rebounding with our census numbers over there. In revenue also, where we used to have customer paid upgrades hit our revenue account, there was a change in the accounting statutes, and now that revenue is amortized over the life of that upgrade. So instead of counting as a revenue amount, it's down in other income under amortization. When we look at salaries and wages for the quarter, we ran at 4.6 million to a budget of 4.5 million. We're about $115,000 over in our salary expense. Now I know you all have heard us talk about staffing challenges, and the staffing continues to be a challenge, and we are short-staffed in many areas. However, in nursing, we don't have the ability to stay short-staffed because we have to meet state regulations as far as nurse to patient ratios. So as a result, we have been utilizing contract labor, and unfortunately that does come at a premium price. So as we continue to recruit and try and hire people in-house, we are having to use that contract labor to fill the gaps in our skilled nursing.
How many do you have contract, you know?
I don't know in total, no.
Okay.
So the question was, do I know how many contract nurses we have? I do not know the total in skilled. I know upstairs right now, we're utilizing 2 CNAs and 1 LPN. And that's down from prior months. Our non-labor expenses for the quarter came in at 2.8 million to a budget of 2.9 million. Part of that is coming from timing of maintenance expenses. We did have a lot of AC repair that, while it happened in the third quarter, did not get accounted for until fourth quarter expenses. So we were running under in maintenance, and then we were running under in activities. Smita had actually taken part of her budget and moved it over to the fourth quarter so that she could do a more robust anniversary celebration, Christmas, and holiday celebration. So as a result, our net operating income for the quarter was 425,000 to a budget of 1.2 million. So we missed by $739,000. That is attributable to our occupancy losses in AL, memory care, and skilled nursing. So once we get that occupancy back up, we'll be in really good shape.
Can I make a comment?
Absolutely.
From what I noticed from your monthly report, from Brian's report rather, but assisted living has jumped by, I believe it's 11. So that's gonna help in it.
That is true. So the statement was that our assisted living census has jumped in the last couple of months. That's absolutely a true statement. And we are starting to see census growth. We had a net 7 growth in assisted living this month alone. So we should start seeing that come back in line sooner rather than later. Christina has gotten a ton of leads and is very effective at what she's doing and is growing our census quickly. When we look at our other income, we are looking at our amortization, interest, unearned entry fees. So our other income for the quarter was $1 million. If you all remember when I signed your contracts with you, I talk about how we earn the entry fee. We do not count entry fee revenue as revenue until it's fully earned. So that's the amortization of that unearned entry fee. Our other expenses below the line are our depreciation, interest on a promissory note on the property of Southport, and depreciation. And that came in at $3.5 million to a budget of $3.2 million. So we were over about $287,000. So our full net income, including interest, taxes, and amortization and depreciation, is a negative $2 million to a budget of negative $1 million. That does not mean that we are losing $2 million every quarter. It just means once we factor in delayed expenses or expenses that are captured over time, it's showing a negative net income. When we look at our year-to-date is about the same story as our quarter-to-date. We have suffered lower occupancy in assisted living, memory care, and skilled all year. We had anticipated that COVID would no longer be a factor in the latter part of 2021, and we were wrong. So as a result, we're not back to business as usual. We are getting back there now, and as COVID becomes more normalized, we'll start to see a little bit more movement as well. So if we look at our net operating income year to date, our budget was $883,000 on our day-to-day activities, or I'm sorry, our actual was $883,000 on our day-to-day activities, and our budget was $2.9 million. So we missed by $2 million. Again, it's summarized in two things. One is insurance true-ups, contract labor, and occupancy. Those are our biggest drivers this year. For those that have the OIR report, there is a reconciliation every quarter to the OIR reporting. There are some differences in how we record things in our day-to-day financial operations to see how we're doing versus how we report them into the OIR. The first of which is that apartment upgrade revenue. While we're accounting for it, when it is earned in the OIR, it does show up in revenue. And then we also had at the end of this year, at the end of 2021, an adjustment to our audited financial statements of about $173,000. This was an IBNR adjustment, which is an insurance adjustment that stands for incurred but not recorded, and it should have been captured in December expenses. It was not, and so it was adjusted onto our financials. So it's showing on our unaudited financials for 2022, but it will be adjusted off at the end of the year when we do our audited financials. And the last part of the reconciliation that's showing a miss between our expenses and our other expenses is transitional costs. When you book for transitional costs, they're considered a below the line or non-operating expense in year one of the transition. Year one was last year. We're officially in year two. And in year two, on audited financials, they're part of everyday operating expenses. And so they are reclassed when we are doing the OIR reporting. And that is why there's a variance there. As far as projects that we have going on, we have a ton of capital projects. Even though our capital year ended in November of 2021, we still have a lot of outstanding projects, some of which are the dock and the pavilion that are going up by the lake. Our Gables East renovation is moving ahead. Our pool resurfacing is going, as well as redoing the village bathrooms. So we have a lot of outstanding projects that are still moving forward, even though our capital year has ended, and will continue on into 2022. Any questions?
The budget for the Gables East renovation, I understand that's what, 3 million something, 3.8?
I'm not sure the total figure because I haven't seen the project total yet, but I do know that all of that is being carried over into 2022. So we're not losing any of the allotted dollars for the Gables East renovation.
Okay. And what this dock gazebo, how much is that budgeted for?
$200,000.
Okay.
Any other questions?
No, just, I think I'm like any other resident here, keep our fingers crossed and hope that the population, especially in Harbor Health, picks up to.
Yep. So one of the good things is we have, our marketing department has a ton of leads on what is called their hot board, which is people that are looking to move into Southport Square. And as I said, November was a banner month in assisted living and memory care, and if Christina keeps up this momentum, memory care should be full soon, which will be back to kind of our normal way of doing business, and AL is getting there quickly.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much.